Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast of Just Listen to One. I'm so sorry that I haven't been posting that much in this podcast. I'm going to slowly do my best to ease myself going back to by doing this podcast. And in this podcast, I'm going to share with you guys on some steps and how to start your own podcast for free. And so let's just get right into this podcast. Step 1, plan your podcast. Before you jump into recording, you should dedicate some time on planning and think of ideas on what you guys want, or your niche of what you want in your podcast. Step 2 is to find a recording space in your home, kind of like an office. Next, you'll need to identify a suitable recording space and a high recording audio. But it takes time. A little side note, it does take time. So, step 3, sign up for a free podcast recording tool and host. You'll need to sign up and create an account of your choosing to record your tools and podcast. And that could be anything that you feel that best fit for you in your situation, in a way. Set up your equipment is always helpful, so then it's much easier to do the podcast and whatnot. You'll want to make yourself ready to record, and even if you set up is fairly stripped back and straightforward, and it's important to make sure that everything works and is on the right track to make your podcast a lot more smoother or easier to do for you. Step 5, record your first episode. When you're all set up and ready to go, it's time for your existing part, recording your first episode. So just sit back, relax, enjoy the whole experience and process. Step 6, edit your recording. When you're finished with your recording session, you'll need to get into raw recording and ready to publish and be uploaded. This doesn't necessarily mean like go. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry, but you can choose. I don't know. Sorry. I'm kind of spacing out at the moment. But make sure you have your editor to get your podcast public, ready, and quickly, or choose a free editing tool to take your podcast ready. Step 7, upload your podcast host and description. When your podcast is ready to go, you'll need to upload your recording to your podcast host for description, I guess, or point their part or portion. You may need to provide additional information or fill out forms to specifically listen to the platform if you haven't done that already. Step 8, promote your podcast. Once your podcast is live, you'll need to do some promotion or let your audience know that you have posted, because that would get more audience, more people to listen to your podcast and get your contact. can't pronounce that word, but your podcast more out there and whatnot. So the more people see that you posted, the better. Step 9, monetize your content. There we go. Though this isn't a necessary step, but it is helpful to get your content more out there, and more people would hopefully inspire your podcast. And then steps 10, just repeat the rest of the previous steps, and hopefully that will be more out there. You can with your platform, which platform you want to post is totally up to you. I do mine here on YouTube, and that makes more sense to me, but it will really depends on you if you want it to be on Spotify or other kind of platforms, so it's totally up to you. So, yeah, thank you for listening to this podcast. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys enjoyed this podcast, please share this podcast to your family members or friends, and I will see you next week. Bye.